Hello YouTube. Here's a YouTube exclusive. At the beginning of the month we talked about what decks would you like to see, and one of them in the list was Stompy. Now we've already recorded a video. I'm debating whether I want to put it up because the results just weren't very good. So this would either come after or maybe you won't even see that one. Okay, it's going to come after. The Elves one, please disregard. We're going to go a little more Stompy this time. That's what I get for trying to cheat what Stompy is. Simic Stompy in Modern. Simic Stompy here in Modern. We get this list from Squad Chief. We were watching Squad Chief a little while ago, and I thought the list fit the budget for what Stompy was. So here is the list. Not exactly just straight green Stompy, but I think the blue here adds very interesting elements, and really it's barely adding anything. So here we are, green Stompy splashing blue. What does this list try to do? Well, it tries to play a Kiora Behemoth Beckoner. And this one allows you to ramp, untapping a land, and then whenever you play some creature with 4 or greater, you get to draw again, which is really good. Modern's all about that card draw at times. And you'll see that we have a stock full of 3 drops. We have Yorvo, which is going to be a 4/4, gaining some counters. We have Steel Leaf Champion, which is at 5/4, can't be chump blocked. And we have Ronus here as a 5/5. We also have a couple Thragtusks, and we have Hydroid Krasis as well. The deck is full, chock full of draw. So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to play. We're going to give it a run, quite a fast run hopefully, in Modern. Simic Stompy. Alright, here we go. Now a few people might be a little bit confused with me referencing the Elves list. We had the green Elves, we tried to play that. If you haven't seen that already, I won't spoil it yet. I'm about to. It didn't go very well. And so we're trying this out, trying to get a Stompy list that I'm happy to upload. But that's the nice thing. Sometimes we upload things that are not great. Sometimes we upload things that are amazing 5-0s. Let's see if this will be one of them. Simic Stompy here, match 1. We found our opponent. Let's play some Magic. Alright, we have a Gigantha. This can mean Tron. This can mean sometimes Storm. We have a turn 2 Yorvo. It's on the draw. I'm not sure a turn 2 Yorvo is going to be fast enough against perhaps anything that a Gigantha is representing. Could even be some versions of Burn. Being that we have several lands here and we really only need to get to 3 and we already have our ramp here, I think we're going to aggressively mulligan this and look for something a little bit better. This'll do. We'll go ahead and keep this. I probably don't need the extra Utopia Sprawl. We'll get rid of the Utopia Sprawl, leaving ourselves a Steel Leaf Champion and a Thragtusk. Steel Leaf might be a little bit hard to cast depending on what my opponent is playing here. So we have Feldar Guardian, Oath of Nissa combo here. Play our Arbor Elf and pass the turn. So we have a combo deck across from us. We don't have a whole lot of interaction, just a few counter spells. We'll see. We'll see if we can get there. Well, this is a lot of mana here. We can make 4 plus this. I think that's enough. Enough to play at least a Steel Leaf here and draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play Kiora here. Then we can untap this and play Steel Leaf. And by untapping and casting this, we're going to get to draw a card as well here because it's large enough for Kiora. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's a good turn, too. Okay. I can get behind what's going on here. Now, if they just play Saheeli here, at least we can kill it with a Steel Leaf. We'll see what they play here on 3. Utopia Sprawl. My opponent is a ramp deck as well. We need to hit some good ones here off of the Thragtusk. Draw and Thragtusk here are going to be really important. There's a Teferi, might just bounce the Steel Leaf here. Bounces Arbor Elf to slow us down a little bit. Alright, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go ahead and do that to put a Thragtusk down. We draw as well. See what else we end up drawing here. It's another Arbor Elf. Let's go ahead and fetch just to thin the list out just an ever so slightly. Play an Arbor Elf. I think I just attack them. I'm not afraid of this Teferi necessarily. So let's hit them. This takes them to 12, and I do have 11 damage here. If I find any way to pump these creatures, we'll be able to kill them. I'll probably be cycling Waterlogged Grove as well, trying to find our last little bit. There's Felidar. Felidar can... Okay, it's going to bounce to Fairy. Alright, so they get to reset something here. Bounces Steel Leaf. So now they can chump block. Okay. I don't have anything that really kills this. 1, 2, 3. Untap. 1, 2, 3. Play this. They're not going to chump block here. If they have another cat, they do the whole same flicker thing. I don't know if I'm supposed to attack this or attack into them. 1, 2, 3. Let's play Yorvo. Draw a card. Untap. 1, 2, 3. Steel Leaf. Yorvo grows. Draw. I feel like I can kill them next turn, even if I don't attack them. So let's get rid of the Teferi now. They'll probably just block the Arbor Elf here. So I don't get as much mana next turn. They do. We'll replay an Arbor Elf here. Okay. Yorvo grows. 6, 6, 5, 5, 5, 4, 5, 3. We have a path. Okay. Path probably gives them one more turn here. We're kind of in the same situation, except this time they don't have a Teferi. That being said, if they find a Saheeli, they kill us. Another Teferi. Decides to bounce Oath of Nissa. Draws a card. We have a few redraws here, which is nice. I'll take my redraws. Stomping Ground is red mana. They need red mana now because Oath is not there. And a Euro is played. Alright. Gains a little bit of life. Puts a land into play. Gets to play that Oath if they would like to. Choosing not to. There's a Hydroid Crisis. How could we win this game right here? How many would I need to draw with Hydroid Crisis? Maybe about 3 or 4? We have that new card. The new card is at the 2 slot, but takes 3 extra, so it's 5 total, I believe. The card I'm referencing is this one, the Inscriptions. So we need 5 mana here to put counters and fight. So if we need to leave 5 mana open, we need 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 with this. So I could put this on 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this. We'll do an untap. Because then this leaves me with a little bit more room. If I do it this way, I can untap. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the land drop. And this draws me now 1, 2, 1, 2 in. Let's go ahead and untap the 1. Let's do this. So it's 1, 2 in, and then it's 4, which will be x equals 4, and then you draw, what, half or something like that? This also makes a 4, 4, which allows the draw off this. So this is the max amount of things we could draw. Okay, we have a Great Henge, and we have a Ronos. Ronos can give... Oh my gosh, we found it! We found it! 5, okay. 5, 6, 7 plus 5. That's 12. I think I'm a point short here. But I could kill this, and get in for damage here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can play this. If I do Ronos here, it's 1, 2, 3, and then I have 1, 2, 3 after. We can give +2, +0, and trample. This is putting 2 counters in killing. Let's go ahead and untap here. Play our blue lands. Let's go ahead and kicker. Cast with kicker. We'll put counters and fighting. We'll put the counters over on Thragtusk. And fight. This will kill the Guardian, theoretically. Unless they have a path. They do have a path. Use path ability. Alright. We get a 3/3 now. Because I have Ronos next, I'm pretty sure I can kill Teferi here. They get a lot of looks to find their kill condition, though. So we'll kill Teferi here, pass the turn. Path saves my opponent for 1 turn here, but do they have Saheeli? They do. Alright. We won't make them do it. We had a few lines there that we probably could have cleaned up, but pretty close, pretty close. There's another one. Another one. Alright, Aether Gust. Let's see here, it's red and green. My opponent has some green things. Probably don't worry about that. Damping Sphere, kind of interesting. Really needed like a Torp Orb. But obviously, Torp Orb's not very good for us. I feel like my opponent's just going to be trying to get through us, and we have the Stubborn Denial and the Mana Leak. I don't think I want to bring Veil in, because it's very likely they'll be having their own Teferi. We could bring in a few relics, because we did see Euro. I'm not sure how much I need the relics, though. I think I want more or less the main package here. So Stompy will sometimes run into this kind of scenario that if you're not equipped to deal with what our opponent's doing, you're just going to have to, if you will, go along for the ride. I think this is one of those. We'll go along for the ride here. Aether Gust really doesn't hit a whole lot that I particularly want to be worrying about. The relic would get the graveyard, but I don't even think I want to be taking a turn off of my main game plan. So here we go. Let's play first. Alright, we will keep this. We have a Stubborn Denial. I have the ability to get our creatures out relatively fast here, which is always nice. Seems like a good starting 7. Wooded Foothills. If they do happen to kill this, at least I can get up to the 3 drops here. Utopia Sprawl for our opponent. Kiora is nice. Do I want to be playing a Kiora, or do I want to be playing something else? Let's go ahead and play down our Steel Leaf champion here. This way I can play a Ronos and then have the Stubborn Denial open, which seems like a pretty decent line here with what my opponent's got going on. Renin 6 was found. Misty Rainforest here. Also Steel Leaf with a Noble here could just be pretty close to lethal. Renin 6 off the Oath of Nissa with the Island here. They do shoot our Noble. That's fine. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's attach Utopia Sprawl here. We'll make more green. Land Kiora. And we'll untap blue and attack them for 5. We're gonna ignore Renin 6. I know it can gain them some life, or gain them some lands here, but I think with the Stubborn Denial open and a 5/4 here, plus another 5/5 right after with backup, I feel like we're in a good spot. Opponent cycles here. It's exactly what we want to see going on here. Picks up the Cycling Triome. Might even play that now. A turn to cycle feels real good for us. Triome comes into play. Alright. Oh, backup Stubborn Denial. Don't mind if I do. We'll go ahead and do a Ronos out here. We do draw a card to land. Go ahead and untap. And hit for 5. We kill next turn. And double Stubborn Denial backup feels pretty good right now. If they get a chump blocker out, I can still use Ronos' ability twice here on the Steel Leaf champion. Misty Rainforest. Now I only have to use it once. I feel like we have this. Our opponent just doesn't know yet. Stomping Ground here. Okay, we definitely have this. I should be able to counter 2 things. And for the most part, the Steel Leaf champion is what I'm blocking here. Euro's played. I can't because that's a creature spell. Looking for non-creatures. Back up to 8. Windswept Heath. They only have 2 white here. So they need double path here. Through our double Stubborn Denial. They take that draw. They find nothing going to game 3. There we go. That worked a lot better. Worked a lot better. Mana Leak as well coming. I'm on the play, or the draw now. I sort of want to maybe put a Relic into play. A Relic could come in for maybe a Singleton Hydroid Krasis. Maybe even the Greater Henge here. So this is costing less per power I have. We can gain life. And then this makes things bigger, but this isn't necessarily winning the game much faster. We could do this swap here now that we're on the draw. I like the Greater Henge on the play because the hope is that we have enough mana and can ramp and play it out and be able to do not necessarily the gaining life, but getting the token or the power on our creatures. All right, no ramp here, but I have the Steel Leaf into a Stubborn Denial. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. It's a little risky because my opponent can play their combo relatively quickly. But we will have Stubborn Denial more or less open for a good portion of this game. Misty Rainforest here. We will be getting a Breeding Pool if my opponent does nothing here. If they play a Renin 6, I'm tempted to Stubborn Denial it. Plays a Utopia Sprawl. Can't really counter that at the moment. Name's blue and does nothing else. Alright, Breeding Pool for us. There's a Relic. That's actually not too bad for us to see here. Let's do Misty, Crack for Misty, find a basic. And Relic. This will keep their graveyard under check here. Opponent considered something and passed. Okay. Question is, next turn, do I want to be down a Stubborn Denial or not? We'll have to see here. There's an Arbor Elf. It's actually not a bad idea to play that and leave Relic open and Stubborn Denial and prep the Arbor Elf to be able to do something a little more crazy. Let's go ahead and play the Arbor Elf in. Being slightly more passive with our Stubborn Denial that we have. See if they want to entertain countering this with their Mana Leak. Aether Gust. Well, we can bottom. That's pretty easy bottom. Play Forest here, so I have Relic open and I have Breeding Pool. Go ahead and get rid of that Aether Gust as well. Alright. Your move, opponent. Leading card here probably is just Steel Leaf. There's 3 mana. There's Euro. So this is Euro number 1. I presume they have about 4. They miss a land drop here. I might just cycle this. They do find their land drop, and they do shock it in here. Utopia Sprawls. One has a lot of mana, so we definitely want to get this Steel Leaf down. This is what? Temur Triome, and then the color will be what? White, maybe? Gives this land every option that they'll probably need. I would name white. We don't know what their hand is. They name blue. Misty Rainforest. They have 2 cards remaining here. Definitely going to go ahead and just cycle the Relic. We don't care about Euro, and I just want to draw some good stuff here. Alright. Yorvo grows. I kind of like that. I have 2 Ronoses here. I think I'm just going to play a Yorvo here because it grows into Steel Leaf into Ronos probably, and always have Stubborn Denial available to us. We probably win in about 3 or so turns here if my opponent can't interact with us. I don't care too much about a path here. I probably let the path resolve. Stomping Ground tapped. We really need to just hit a Saheeli, I think, or a Teferi. Teferi protecting everything. This is a good thing to go ahead and Stubborn Denial. Stubborn Denial becomes a blank here if I don't do this here. It appears we have a Mana Leak or some sort of card. A Remand. Alright. Remand here means that this is probably going to just get bounced. And does so. Plays a Misty Rainforest, and we have 2 cards. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play Steel Leaf this time. I'm going to play Steel Leaf because Steel Leaf can get past a Feldar. Feldar would blink Teferi, but if they have some other just small chump blocking thing, I want to be able to get through to the Teferi so I can turn back my Stubborn Denial. We'll F6 through this turn. We have no actions due to Teferi. Teferi goes up here. 3 mana new Teferi. Teferi number 2 bounces Steel Leaf here. Okay. Land drop. 2 cards. Alright, we have a Utopia Sprawl. Go ahead and do this. Green. We'll do a Flicker Feldar. I guess it really doesn't matter. We'll just replay Yorvo this time. Again, we just have to pass due to Teferi here. Would love to be able to kill Teferi. Breeding Pool. My opponent's really thinning out their library as best as they can. No actions once again here. We're really hoping they don't find the combo. Oath of Nissa. Don't find the combo. Basic Mountains, probably a complete blank for them. Goes up with Teferi. There we go. All right. First things first, let's go ahead and kill Teferi. Or attempt to. Looks like it's a path. Alright, we'll take our path. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of like the idea of a Thragtusk here. Again, we can't do anything with Stubborn Denial, so using my mana the best and the most efficient way, it's not a bad idea here. Up to 21, 2 cards. Teferi goes up to 3. They're not playing anything. Land drop, attempt to kill Teferi once more. Oh, we're gonna get through. Maybe. Oh, they paused. Alright, we're through. Alright. 1, 2, 3, Yorvo. 1, 2, 3, Steel Leaf. Leave ourselves Stubborn Denial open. Pass the turn. This is 15 damage. 15 damage comes through. We get there. Yeah. Stubborn Denial, keeping it as is. Simic Stompy. Game 1. Match 1. Alright. This is a Stompy list. We'll see you in the next one. Match 2. Playing a Stompy list. Yes, indeed. We need to not try to fool around. When you ask for Stompy, you need to get Stompy, and Stompy it is now. Alright. Match found. Opponent to play. Let's go. I also like this Inscriptions of Abundance. Might be something I consider trying out in my own Green Devotion list. I've seen a few lists running this card. Definitely kind of a nice nuanced card from Zendikar with its kicker ability. We will play first, always a good thing here. We're going to keep this hand. We have the ability to ramp out. We have Kiora here. Looks exactly like what we want to be doing. Noble Hierarch, Kiora, go ahead. Let's see if they have removal or not. Steam Vents, that could be a bolt. It's a Swift Spear, so no bolt. A Swifty. A Gut Shot. Okay, they do have removal. They do have removal. In for 2. Looks like I'm just going to be doing a Misty Rainforest here. Probably getting a Breeding Pool. Extra Kiora is not exactly what we want. Not exactly. Alright, but we're going to have a big 5-4 here soon. If my opponent attacks me here and tries to light the stage, I might actually go ahead and try to Stubborn Denial this. I could do this off of a basic island. If I do, Kiora would have to help us with the Steel Leaf. Do I shock or do I try to do this? With a threat across the board here, I think I'm going to go ahead and shock in. This light up the stage should basically blank this turn. Now I could play Kiora first with the idea that I'm going to be playing Steel Leaf after. Oh, they have a land after the fact. Alright. Let's go ahead and play Steel Leaf here. My opponent's at 14. That's 3 attacks from us. We're probably about 2 attacks from them, though. Give it a shot, though, playing the Steel Leaf here. Opt. Okay. Okay. A little more blue-red, a little less red prowess. It's probably a good sign for us. As a 1-2 here, unless they play Soulscar Mage, I'm probably blocking. If I block here, they would need to play 4 spells. This is probably worth a block here. They need to play 4 spells to keep this alive. They only have 2 mana here. Ah, Mutagenic Growth will do it. The other reason for going ahead and doing this is if they want to keep this alive, they got to kind of force their way into this with spells. So we had a Mutagenic and an Opt. At least this isn't 5 damage hitting me. Potentially, let's just say they had a Bolt. This would be 6 plus the 3, 9, and put me to 5. That'd be dangerous. I think this block's alright. They don't get to light up the stage either if they have an extra one of those. We, however, could use a creature. Kiora down. We do have 2 Thrag Tusks in the list. Something I'm hoping to maybe run into. Sideboard-wise, I don't think we have really. We have Aether Gust, which we're going to bring in, but we don't have anything that's really going to stop them. We might bring in Damping Spheres to slow them, because for us, even though we can play about 2 things a turn, we seem to be okay with just playing 1 thing a turn. And the Damping Sphere doesn't slow us down. This would be a perfect example where they get 2 more mana, Manamorphose, and they probably wouldn't do a whole lot after that. We'll see. Spire Bluff played, 2 floating red, 1 blue available to them if they want it. Hand would be so much better if this was another creature to follow up after this. And maybe our sequencing is this. Do they attack this, or would we be at 5? I think we'd be at 5. We now have a Steel Leaf in play. And 1 extra draw. I'm not sure that would be enough, though. They could have a couple shots up to the face and be done with us. I wonder if they're really considering looking at this. It can't be right. There we go. By the way, if we would have taken the other line, we'd be at 2 now because of the lightning bolt. We'd be at 2 with a light up the stage, and Lava Dart would kill us. Or the Burst Lightning. So our line has kept us alive for at least 1 more turn. 1 more turn to find Thragtusk. I'll have 5 mana. Burst Lightning's me. We're going down to 4. 4 doesn't feel very good. Not with a Lava Dart there. Top of the library, let's go. Alright, we can see. They just shoot the Lava Dart, swing in, I don't do anything, and then they'll just sack in response. Alright. Aether Gusts come in here. I could bring Relics in, I could do Damping Spheres. Let's think about this. Gaining life, we have Greater Henge, Thragtusk, Hydroid Craces, Inscriptions as well. And then stopping spells, we have our Stubborn Denial Mana Leaks. Arbor Elves Nobles are probably going to be picked off, but that's okay. We understand that's going to happen. So we're definitely going to be wanting to beat down with these 10, but we have these 10 as options and these 5 that probably stop quite a few things. Looking at what's remaining here with the Aether Gusts, I almost want to just take out like a pair of Ronuses. At the same time, I'm wondering if Greater Henge's gaining 2 is going to be worth it over doing something with Aether Gust to tempo my opponent. Mana Leak in general should hit correctly. Stubborn Denial doesn't hit a lot of the creatures. We could swap Stubborn Denial out for Aether Gusts, because probably more times than not, we're just going to want to be tempoing them out a little bit. Let's take some Stubborn Denials out and bring Aether Gust in. I want this other Aether Gust. I think I'm going to take 1 Ronos out, even though that would help me get through with Trample. I do have Steel Leaf Champion. The question is, do I want some of these Stubborn Denials back? Do I have any reasons for Damping Spheres? It's tough to say. I want to gain life here, so I need the mana. Utopia, Arbor Elf Noble. Kiora is what we want to be doing with that. I think 4 Aether Gust, 2 Mana Leak here is probably fine. 1 Ronos out, and the Stubborn Denials. Stubborn Denial with at least 1 creature out is pretty brutal, though. The whole gain X life is going to be really critical here with Inscriptions. Let's take 1 Kiora out and run a Singleton Stubborn. And when we draw the Singleton Stubborn, we'll see if we would have preferred a Kiora. And that'll help us in Game 3 as we get there. We plan to get to a Game 3. We are on the play as well. Alright, I don't like this hand at all. I have an Arbor Elf and a Singleton land into a deck that can bolt this Arbor Elf. Let's go ahead and mulligan this starting hand. This hand looks a lot better. I know it's got a few nuanced things with our Noble Hierarchs, but some Hydroid Crasis could be nice. I think I'm not going to worry about having the inscriptions here, even though it will be nice in the future. A couple Hydroid Craces here will probably do enough. We'll lead with Arbor Elf because it has the best potential to get a lot more done on turn 2 with the Utopia Sprawl. Utopia Sprawl would give me 4 mana. I'd probably just slap it down to draw and get another creature in. Burst Lightning immediately from our opponent. No real surprises there. Noble Hierarch here and Misty Rainforest past turn. We'll be getting a Breeding Pool with this. We'll see if they decide to kill this Noble Hierarch as well. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. Fetching immediately. Bum, bum, bum. Steam Vents. Shocks in. Sprite Dragon. Okay. I hope they don't have Gut Shot. If they had Gut Shot, they would have in response to my Breeding Pool here. So, pretty safe to say that this should be fine. Tempted to do the Crasis here. Could do Yorvo now. Yorvo would grow. It's probably better to do Yorvo here versus the Crasis. The Crasis could get an extra little bit of help here with another land off the top. So Yorvo here so it can grow past turn. Crasis is going to be a chump blocker or just soak up 2 to 3 damage. Lava Dart is a thing, so I almost would prefer this to be at 2. Soulscar Mage is a really good one for them. This can shrink this. Lightning Bolts Yorvo here to shrink it down to a 1/1 here. Sprite Dragon grows, Prowess grows. Sprite Dragon grows permanently. Opponent attacks here for 2. Appears to be doing nothing else. Seems a little weird to wait until this part of combat to keep going forward here. In some ways, I almost would have held this opt in case I get only 1 creature here that can grow this, so that they could then opt and do Soulscar. I know they're trying to apply pressure here. To me, you could play a little bit differently there. All right, we're gonna put a Crasis out here. It's only for 1, nothing crazy. Is a chump blocker. Yorvo grows, and Yorvo's going to attack. We're hoping that the Crasis gets to do blocks. I suppose now that I'm looking at the Noble Hierarch and seeing the Exalted Trigger, this holding back is probably just not a good idea. Alright, easy chump block here. Didn't really do a whole lot, but I want the flyer here. Remember, this has a whole bunch of text. It, to me, should have flying and trample as the first thing, and then says whenever you cast. But, templating. Burst Lightning's Yorvo, thinking Yorvo's the problem here. The idea of Yorvo being the problem is that this is going to have to chump block here. They'd rather just kill Yorvo before it grows too large. This is a pretty easy block here. I don't want to take 4. Another land here would be good. I get a 2/2 Crasis. It did connect, so Light Up the Stage is a thing now. This is now a 5/5. Stage is lit. Oh, shoot. Lava Dart's an exceptionally bad card to see for us right here. Lava Dart or Noble Hierarch, this grows. We can cast this Lava Dart next turn. Do it a land. I'll play Ronos here. I have a feeling I'm just dead, though. 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 prowess is 12. And the damage from the Lava Darts. Yeah. You got me. You got me. Alright, we didn't get enough mana there. Our Crasises didn't get us there. Probably the takeaway from this is don't have a card that's going to depend on a lot of mana, especially against a Bolt deck. We needed the 3 drops and stuff. Maybe come into one of these. These are kind of our late game things we want to see. Opponent kills us, though. We've learned a thing or two against a burn prowess list. And I'm sure we'll run into one more of those before the league is over. Match 2 done here. We'll see you in the match 3, playing the Simic Stompies here in Modern. Simic Stompy in Modern. we've got our next match queued up. We've learned some things. We'll continue to apply these things that we've learned. Needed probably the Aether Gusts and looking for mana leaks and or 3 mana in that last matchup, and that cost us the game. Match 3, let's find an opponent. Let's play some Magic. Alright, we found an opponent. Let's join the match. Let's play match 3. And let's see if we can stomp down our opponent. We get to play first. Always good when you're trying to be aggressive. Alright. We have a Greater Henge and a ton of mana. Probably too much mana. I think we've got to mulligan this to be more aggressive. If I had maybe a different drop in here. I do have the Waterlogged Grove. I don't know if that convinces me that it's a good idea. So we have the option to be aggressive in our mulligan, but we don't know what our opponent's on. If they're on another Prowess or Burn matchup, then the Arbor Elf here with the Waterlogged Grove might not be a bad idea. You know what? For science, let's keep this. My suggestion to you would be to mulligan this. We're going to go ahead and keep. Something tells me that, I don't know, they'll have removal. And then finding a 1 land or 2 lander with an Arbor Elf in our future would be bad. I don't know. This is probably incorrect. Okay, could be removal. Bolts away our Arbor Elf. Alright. Breeding Pool tapped. My opponent could clearly Thoughtseize us here. Jund. Okay. Little Tarmogoyf. Extra Krasis here. Well, we're going to hold out to be able to use these Krasises a little more efficiently than our last match. Again, here's another example, though, where Krasis isn't really doing stuff in the opening hand. And the Greater Henge we did kind of say wouldn't do much here. Seasoned Pyromancer. Get a Breeding Pool here. No real worry about a Blood Moon effect. My opponent looks like they're just going to go wide here. Discarding a few things for the Tarmogoyfs. This will be a matchup where Veil will be nice. They had a Fatal Push as well. 3 in. Pass the turn. Alright, there's a Stubborn Denial. We're a little bit away from doing that. That being said, we'll go ahead and get a Krasis in here and do a redraw. Okay. We have a 2/2. Play Krasis. Get Krasis. Bolt Krasis. I mean, I guess I'm just replaying a Krasis here. I've got another one coming. Swamp here. Lightning Bolt my Krasis. Liliana. We can discard a card here. We'll probably just discard the Greater Henge here. Not really seeing that getting played anytime soon. 4, 5, 6, 7 here. They can down tick with the Liliana. I go up for 1. We have a Kiora, but the Kiora really doesn't buy me anything. Play another Krasis here. Find ourselves with a mana leak. At least I have a Stubborn Denial in case they play Bloodbraid Elf, spin into something. I see this just down ticking here and them hitting me for 7, putting me to 4. Raging Ravine here is looking really good too. Down tick. I lose Krasis. In for 7. Down to 4. Very slow hand. And that's what we get for a slow hand. Utopia Sprawl. Could do that. Realistically, I can just play Krasis and they kill it. Krasis can gain me about 2 or 3 life, but they've got 7. Alright, concession here. Now, they did have Lightning Bolt Fatal Push, so if we would have gone a little more aggressive for that Arbor Elf type of start, not sure it would have worked out either. Alright, Veil and Aether Gust here are going to come into play. So I believe the last time I put a video up, I talked about not bringing Aether Gust in against Jund, and I got a little bit of a talking to. So we're going to go ahead and bring Veil Aether Gust in. To me, Stubborn Denial, although it could stop a Liliana, is probably not what we're about here. I think Mana Leak is a questionable card, but we will consider it. Ronos is hard for them to kill, so we'll keep Ronos around. I'm thinking the Greater Henge is not needed here. Let's drop one Aether Gust. I know, I just said about bringing them in, but I'm going to drop one here because I've got 2 more cards to cut. I have a feeling it's just going to be perhaps this Inscription here, although Inscription is one of the ways that I do fight and kill their creatures. We might be looking at like a Singleton Krasis here, even though it's evasive. And then like 1 Kiora or 1 Yorvo. Might be one like Yorvo. Might be 1 Inscription. You know what? Hydroid Krasis is 1 Inscription. Having 2 Inscriptions here, I get to fight, but I also get to gain life. The gaining life could be reasonable. I'm hoping to have about 2 creatures, 3 creatures out at a time. I need to keep my creature density relatively high. Let's bring the Krasis back in. Let's get rid of the Inscriptions. I have the Thragtusk. I have the Hydroid Krasis. I do take Greater Henge out, so you can make an argument, well, Fluffy, you're taking Greater Henge out. That would gain you more mana for casting. But the way that my opponent's going to remove some things here, which is the assumption, just doesn't sit well with me. Alright, so now we have a hand where I have some of the decent things that I talked about. We are in the play. I could play this on turn 3. They could follow with Liliana. I could hold up a Mana Leak. My opponent could have Thoughtseize here. So we've punished ourselves from game 1 not mulliganing quickly. Let's go ahead and mulligan this to see if I can get something a little quicker, a little bit better. This one looks good. Gonna do the Krasis away because we've talked about what the Krasis does for us. We want it a bit later. Play an Arbor Elf here and see if they want to bolt it. This hand seems to be a little bit better in terms of some things off the top, and if I can get a Kiora out first, then Steel Leaf, we can create our engine and value that I think we will definitely need this game. Kills my Arbor Elf here, no surprise there. Pass back to us. Find ourselves with another forest. We'll put Breeding Pool into play and pass the turn. We may have to just do the Kiora here, leave it at 7, and then plan for Steel Leaf. This does open us up to a Thoughtseize, though. We'll see. Alright, Inquisition here. They get to take whatever they want. Take Steel Leaf, so this makes this super easy for us. Just kidding. Now we have nothing. Now we have nothing. Top of the library needs to be kind to us. I'm going to play the Forest over the Waterlogged Grove. I think... You know what? Because I have 2 forests here, I can then cantrip this. We can go 2 deep here on our draw plus this draw. I don't really need 4 mana. Not going to have probably 2 things in my hand unless this draws an Arbor Elf and then the next draws like a Steel Leaf. We're going to do this because even if my opponent has like a Liliana here, I had the 2 forests, so we're guaranteed to have our land drop. Alright, it is Liliana here. We'll go ahead and just sacrifice this, looking for some answers. Utopia Sprawl is not really an answer here. Problem now being that if my opponent has just this Liliana, I can't really play a Singleton creature in. I almost need 2, or I have to somehow whittle my way through the Liliana. It's not going to really matter anyway. We'll make more green mana here and pass the turn. They're very much ahead of us. Just depends on what these last two cards are. If I see myself a Bloodbraid Elf across the way, it's going to be really bad for us. We discard, they discard. 2 cards remain for our opponent. Thoughtseize makes sense. Looks like my opponent has some version of interaction here. Mana Leak's going to probably do nothing here because my opponent's going to do the Liliana. If we had the Kiora down, definitely would maybe get some value off of that. We haven't really drawn another creature, but that's how you would combat a Liliana here. Next turn, uptick. Next turn, downtick. Remove Breeding Pool, this, and Forest. Kind of separate these out, maybe. Steel Leaf. This may stop them. I'm hoping they don't have Terminate. I hope they have no double bolt here. Fatal Push could have hit this if they had a fetch land. They don't currently. Now they have a decision. Do I Liliana uptick and try to create a chump blocker here? The answer is no. They're going to have me sacrifice. They do get to keep their cards here. They have 2. There's the fetch land. Here comes the Bloodbraid Elf. I know it. I feel it in my bones. Bloodbraid. Play. Basic Forest. Yeah. Bloodbraid into Tarmogoyf. Alright. Collective Brutality here. They get to drain. Drain and gain here. 18. Down to 15 because of the Bloodbraid Elf. Creature. Alright. Land's okay. If I top deck a Thragtusk, at least it's a difficult creature for my opponent to remove. Top decking even Ronos here doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Bolts me. Goes up. They ditched a Inquisition. Bloodbraid Elf attacking. We're down to 9. Play a Noble Hierarch. Can't hold on to it due to the Liliana. Can't really kill Liliana with it. Opponent attacks. I'm going to go ahead and hold the Noble Hierarch here. I'm going to hold it so that they have to use Liliana downtick. If I top deck a creature, I want the creature to be able to block this and then to sacrifice this to Liliana. Opponent smartly just sacrifices the Noble Hierarch because they know that they can just do this pretty much 2 more times and win this game. There's a Utopia Sprawl. Alright, we'll go ahead and concede here. We don't have an out. Our outs don't exist. I guess Thragtusk is a bit of an out here because I gain life. But they're going to just do uptick with Liliana. When I play Thragtusk, they downtick. Yeah, we're not getting there. Jund has the removal, has what it needs, takes us down. We keep a sketchy game 1 for some science there to see if just having maybe against removal, which we saw the Lightning Bolt, so that was kind of good. I think they had us both games though. Simic Stompy takes a loss. We'll see you in the next one. Match 4. We started well. We've kind of petered out. Probably had a chance against the prowess list. No matter. No matter. Let's keep it rolling here. Let's see if we can revive the league, get a 3-2. Match 4, currently 1-2. Simic Stompy, Modern. Alright, we do not go first. We actually have a very good hand, I think. We got some ramp, we got a big creature here, we have a Triome across the way. We'll start with that Arbor Elf. We've got some good ramp here. The question is, what will happen with all this ramp? We'll have a big Yorvo, that's the thing. Let's go ahead and shock in a Breeding Pool here. 1, 2, 3. Doing this before I play the other nobles, because Yorvo will grow. Alright, we have a 4-4 here. We have the Teamer Triome once again. Breeding Pool. Island. No white mana. Euro. Okay. Alright. We might be fighting a Euro here next turn. Do they ramp? Flooded Strand would give them the white mana that they need. All right, we're gonna wait on Krasis here. Start with an Arbor Elf. Waiting on Krasis because we're gonna have a lot more mana next turn. Gonna go ahead and attack just with the 1 here because I can use inscriptions. I don't think this has hexproof on it. Counters, gain life, target creature you control fights. We're gonna save the fighting for later. We could have attacked with the Noble Hierarch, but I could also use this on the Waterlogged Grove to untap and get to play a down. Forest here, tapped. Go ahead and pass the turn here. We're planning to play a gigantic Krasis. I presume Euro's going to be showing up soonish. Maybe not immediately, but soon. There's an Omnath. Fetch land? Not a fetch land, so they gain a bit of life, but they don't get anything crazy going on here. Alright, how big can we make Krasis? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I make it 7, right? Yeah. We can do, actually, we can do this. And then I can make it fight, right? 1, 2. Let's see where we're at. 1, 2, and then it's going to be a 2, 2. Sorry, a 4, 4. And then I can make it fight the Omnath. If I make it fight the Omnath here. My opponent didn't have a fetch land, though. And I think if they had the fetch land, they would have used that. 4 lets me replay Noble Hierarch, though. It's probably just the smarter play here. It's an Arbor Elf. So we can play Arbor Elf here, and we'll go ahead and play the new Noble and pass turn. Alright, we have a super wide board of little creatures here. Will it be enough? We'll find out. We can definitely attack. We can definitely do both sides to this as well. Hero's not coming back immediately just yet. We are at risk of a path here. Alright, non-fetch land. That's a good start. It's a lot of mana. Paths, alright. We do have double Noble Hierarch here. We can do this and put it on the Arbor Elf. Kill the Omnath. Something we can do. Attacks me for 4. I'll take the 4 here. We have a lot of mana. I want to be able to use this mana. Kiora. Kiora. Alright, let's go ahead and cycle Waterlogged Grove. I want a little more information than a Kiora. Thragtusk. Alright. Probably play the Kiora down. Start there. Untap a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thragtusk. We have 3 mana, so if they have mana leak. We draw a card, gain the life. Breeding Pool. Let's attack with the Arbor Elf. Oh. We're bolting over here. Bolting, huh? I could put 2 counters on this and blank the bolt. Sort of want to do that over just killing this. Let's attempt to do that. Let's blank the bolt. Alright, my opponent had F6. We'll go ahead and attack here for a little bit of damage here with Exalted Triggers and pass turn. We have a giant 7/5 Thragtusk. I like him. He's beefy. He is beefy. Field of Ruin here. Tapped. Omnath gains them some life. 4/2/2/2. Does not attack. Let's cycle Waterlogged Grove again. We're kind of flooding out here. We could really use something different. Let's go ahead and go in 5. This is 4, 5, 6. Double Exalted here seems pretty safe. Seems pretty safe. Chump block from the zombie. Pass the turn. I need one big threat. Steam Vents tapped. Seems like my opponent might be flooding out here. There's an Inscriptions. I can do every side of this. Let's go attack again here. I don't particularly want to set up the Omnath here with the Inscriptions, so we're just going to attack for 9 again. They'll chump block. We need something a little more powerful than an Inscriptions here. The Inscriptions I almost want to use against the Euro anyway, even though they'll get to draw a card if they say how to fetch land, get to use this in Euro. Maybe in response to the fetch land, I do something against Omnath here. There's a Teferi. Teferi makes me want to go ahead and fight this. Let's go ahead and 2-mode this. We're going to gain life and fight. You know what? I can't do this at instant speed here. If I kill this, they can play Euro. You know what? I'm going to let this happen here. To me, if they bounce like Thragtusk, it's terrible for them. So they get a Temple Garden here. Omnath does Omnath things, makes a zombie. Teferi might just go up. Bounces Omnath. Alright. So they're going to use this to do a redraw here. Which is probably not the worst. Redraws with Omnath. I can kill Teferi pretty easily here. So many lands. So many lands. Let's go combat here. Let's just throw a bunch of Arbor Elves at Teferi here and just pass. Losing 2 of these is okay here. I have plenty of mana. Sweet. Okay. We'll just pass turn here. Looking for a Krasis, looking for a string of creatures here. What do we have? I guess I get to cast Euro here, but this is where I'm going to use Thragtusk to kill the Euro. We'll do this in response to the draw here. Go ahead and kick her. 2 more and fight. Before they can draw maybe a path. I would live here with my Thragtusk here as long as they don't have a path. They could bolt it, then I have a 3/3 afterwards. Alright, we kill Euro. They get Euro. They do Euro things. They draw cards. They gain life. If they hit another land here, they get to get a lot of mana with Omnath. It is a Triome, so if they have a fetch land, they could bolt Thragtusk here. And with the Field of the Dead here, it looks like we're going to losing this battle, unfortunately. They do 3 upstairs instead of killing Thragtusk. To me, this is kind of nice. There's a Euro. New Euro, played from the hand, draws a card. Up to 44. I'm just a string of creatures away from possibly doing something crazy here. They did attack Kiora, it looked like. There's a mana leak, which is pretty dead in the hand right now. 9. This is going to be a X9, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4. So 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Not quite enough here with the Thragtusk. I'll go ahead and attack, though. They have to block with everything here, and I can kill Omnath. They might just chum block here. Yep. Alright, go ahead, opponent. I've got a mana leak that's not going to do a whole lot here. End step Growth Spiral. Opponent plays a land here. We have an Omnath and a Field of the Dead. Trigger. So many creatures. We are playing something here. They have plenty of mana. Another Field of the Dead would be a problem. Tap and draw. Okay. Fetching with Misty allows them to play Euro here. It's looking really sketchy for us. They're getting too many creatures here for our Stompy strategies to get through. Mystic Sanctuary here. Alright, so here we are again. The Mystic Sanctuary, Cryptic Command, lock. Being able to play Euro here will allow them to draw this Cryptic Command. I think we can get this with a mana leak. But if we can't get this out of there with a mana leak, then my opponent's got us beat. Yield to some of these. Alright, so they play Euro here. They did not put Cryptic Command on top, by the way. I don't know if that was a mistake. Oh no, they needed it for Euro here. Alright, so Euro comes down. Draws a card. Might put a land into play. If they do put a land, I think they're at the point where they can Kiora kill. Which they do, so now I can't draw cards. Renin 6 here. They have too much mana for my mana leak. In for a bunch of damage. And my opponent actually just kills us here. Not a whole lot I could do. Not a whole lot. I hit a lot of my mana dorks, not so much the big creatures here. Let's go to sideboard. So, this would hit red or green. This is probably okay because it hits Omnath and other creatures that we had. We have the relics as well, and I think I want Ashiok. Oops. Okay. Mana Leak feels like it's just going to be too slow. Stubborn Denial feels alright. Greater Henge, maybe not. The relics as well. We have 4 cards to cut here. A lot of their stuff is creature based, so maybe the Stubborn Denials don't make sense, but then if they're doing like a Cryptic Command, I do want the Stubborn Denials. I wonder if Ashiok and Relic are a little too much. Like if I just play Relics and I have the Ashioks here, that might be enough. And then I just need 2 more cuts. Ronos is probably good because I need the Trample. Steel Leaf's probably good too. Yorvo might not be as good, even though it can grow. Let's take Yorvo and a Hydrate Crisis out. Inscriptions is here, just like we saw. We could fight things. I think this is alright. We need to be faster than our opponent. That's what Stompy tries to do. Alright, we have a turn 2. Steel Leaf into Ronos. Or Ronos into Steel Leaf. Either way, we'll give it a shot. Utopia Sprawl on our Forest. Making the green mana. Passing the turn. Triome. Passes back. We'll play... I guess I'll play Ronos first, because when we play the Steel Leaf and the Waterlog Grove, we'll be able to attack. Misty Rainforest. There's an Ashiok, which is pretty nice. Let's go ahead and attempt Steel Leaf here. Guess if they counter this, this is a little awkward because then Ronos doesn't attack. I guess I'm not expecting something that counters creatures here. We'll see though. Aether Gust. We'll put it on top. I actually don't mind having the creature again. Alright. So we don't attack here, but I'm going to be able to probably play an Ashiok next turn with also our big creature. So let's go ahead and attempt Steel Leaf here. Let's go ahead and attack with Ronos. Island, untap. Blue, blue, and a little bit extra green. Ashiok. Cracks Flooded Strand in response. Might have a counter for this. If they do, they're going to shock in. They do not shock. Still looks like they have something. Nope, Sandbar. And Ashiok hits the battlefield. We'll get rid of their graveyard here. And your move, opponent. We are presenting lethal here with the Arbor Elf being able to pump with Ronos. And the Steel Leaf Champions. Stomping ground here. My opponent does shock in, making some white. Supreme Verdict. Alright, it doesn't kill Ronos here, but it does kill the other 2 creatures. Stubborn Denial. Let's go ahead and do a redraw here. Should be redrawing off the island, not off the green source. Noble Hierarch. Let's go ahead and mill them out a little bit. And we'll pass turn. I can't attack with Ronos here. Supreme Verdict, huh? From the creature deck. Bolts. Ashiok. Could have Stubborn Denial. Opting not to. Let's play a Kiora here. Our future cards are a lot more powerful than an Ashiok at this point in the game. Island played. Opponent's going to try to do something here. We'll go ahead and Stubborn Denial this. Untapping doesn't gain us anything here, so we'll just attack with a Noble. We can double up on the Noble here with the Ronos and be able to attack with both here for lethal in our coming turn. Mystic Sanctuary picks up the Cryptic. Maybe this is a reason to have Stubborn Denialed earlier. Renin 6. Renin 6 can kill Noble. Alright, so we have a Krasis here. They haven't necessarily drawn that Cryptic yet. I think we have to go all in with the Krasis here so that I can attack with Ronos. So here we go. Big one. Get the draw. Get to play. Play the Noble. Attack. I think they have a Cryptic coming here. I still think I'd probably attack them for 6 and put them to 3. The Cryptic's going to get to tap us down for a turn. Renin 6 might just hit this. They might also pick up the Scalding Tarn with the Renin 6 to get things in the future. They didn't need it though. So we know it's Cryptic. They killed the Noble Hierarch. We'll go to combat. It's got to be a Cryptic here. Tap and draw. Fetches. They're going to put the Cryptic back on top, probably. Nope. It's a Hallowed Fountain. I'm going to go ahead and do 3 here. 1, 2, 3 with the Steel Leaf because I get to draw. Draw with Kiora. There's an Aether Gust. Breeding Pool tapped. What if I bounce Renin 6 so they can't Scalding Tarn to get a Mystic Sanctuary again? Do we like that? I actually kind of do. They put it on bottom. They would have had to pay, then pick up, put Cryptic. This is just kind of preventing a future version of that. They only have 2 fetches left anyway. Maybe we hold that for some other line there, but I think it's an okay time to bounce. There we go. Sideboard we go. Do we like what we did? I like the big Hydra Krasis. That was nice. So they are playing Supreme Verdict. I could try to bring the Veils in. I feel like I'm supposed to tempo them out more, but maybe Veil is not bad here. Maybe better than Inscriptions, just a pair of Veils. I don't know if I like that or not. We can try it. Inscriptions are kind of cute because they could increase something smaller and help us out. Veils can probably play against some of the counter magic that they're going to be playing. Oh boy. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Arbor Elf with a Forest here and double Utopia Sprawl. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? On you, opponent. Do not bolt this. Don't touch it. Nice. Land. No land. We'll start with a Utopia Sprawl here. Green. Untap. Another Utopia Sprawl. Named Blue this time. And play a Noble Hierarch. Alright, we have a lot of mana if they don't touch Arbor Elf here. Growth Spiral. Maybe they're just trying to do the big creature thing. Maybe they have Supreme Verdict. I don't know. We put a little bit of blue here because I do need it for the Krasises and the Stubborn Denials. We had an extra Triome here, a Scalding Tarn. We have a Steam Vents Shocked In. 3 mana, 4 mana. It is just big Omnath. Alright. We do hit our fetch land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would be 8. 7 makes this, but then we have Stubborn Denial. Kind of like that line here. Big Hydra Krasis. Big. Draw some cards. There's a Utopia Sprawl. I'm going to wait on the Utopia Sprawl, because to me, the Misty Rainforest getting a Stubborn Denial may be more important here. Misty Rainforest for our opponent. They're going to have a lot of mana, but we have a nice giant Krasis here. It's evasive too, which may be very important here. Breeding Pool. In some ways, I want to stop a Cryptic from bouncing the Utopia Sprawl. Rainbow colors here. Hour of Promise. This looks like a great card to attempt to counter here. Trying to deal with a bunch of those zombies here feels like a bad idea. We'll attempt the Stubborn Denial. Do you have a counter? Ah, they path. They path the Krasis. I guess we'll just have to play another big one. Now they can pay for this? Okay. Just make another jumbo Krasis here. They're not going to be playing Supreme Verdict after doing this, I don't think. Famous last words. Flooded Strand in a Field of the Dead. They can now shoot. Maybe they can't shoot. I don't remember where they're at. Alright, we're down to 11. Waterlogged Grove. We'll put this in. We're going to hook up the Utopia Sprawled land. Putting it all in on this. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8. I wonder if I'm just supposed to go all in on the Krasis and then see what we can do from there. Just totally all in here. Maybe I leave 3 mana up because I'm going to maybe draw something else. What is this? 1, 2, and then it's 3. Draw 3. Do I want to draw 3 or do I want to draw 4? Draw 3 and then be able to play something seems like a good idea. And then I could cantrip this if I had missed to draw 4 anyway. Makes it a 6/6, which makes it a 3-turn clock in the air. Noble Heart makes it a 4-turn clock. We'll do this. There we go. There we go. 1, 2, 3 here. Kiora. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not enough for Thragtusk, but I like getting this down this turn. Go ahead, opponent. I like that turn. That was a good turn. What do we got from you? A couple Waterlogged Groves here. Scalding Tarn, so my opponent's going to have lots of mana here. Omnath Trigger. Gain life. So now it's still outside of that 4-turn clock anyway. Opponent attacks. Attack. No attack. We can get a path back. Attacks 4 with the Omnath here. Choosing not to. I would snap block. Them not wanting to go after this. They have 2 Flooded Strand Scalding Tarns here. They can get to that point where they're doing 4 damage to each opponent and each Planeswalker. The question is, do they want to go ahead and attack with everything here and lose Omnath? They're going to attack with 2 zombies here at Kiora as well. I'm going to block Omnath here, which forces the fetches here. This is pretty good because I don't get to redraw here. I don't see a reason to be doing this in combat here because you're losing your mana. But that to me tells me they have nothing else to play. So Kiora's dead. Holding Kiora there, maybe we get to play a few more things next turn. What do we have now? Oh, we have a new Omnath. Oh. New Omnath. Alright. Let's take a cantrip. Land. Let's take another cantrip. Let's untap this land. Let's gain some life. Noble Hierarch. I wonder if I'm supposed to bounce this or not. I suppose I wait for the next spell here, right? And I just attack for 8 in the air. Sort of a 4-turn clock. If I get rid of this, they get to draw a card. Gets Omnath replays this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they have 1, 2, 3, 4 afterwards. If they have a land, then they're going to gain life after that. Maybe the tempo play is supposed to happen right here. Let's stop on their draw step and do it. So after they draw here, we'll go for trying to tempo them. This will give me kind of an extra turn here, and then this will, because they have no fetch lands right now, they can't get kind of like any weird value out of this. I am opening myself up to like a Cryptic Command right now. But then they're spending the turn to Cryptic Command, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they have only about 4 mana. I could have stopped on the upkeep here, but I wanted to stop on the draw because I don't want them to go, well, I'll just put that on top and redraw. They put that on the bottom of their library. Okay. The bottom it goes. We got something else we're interested in playing here. It's a Misty Rainforest. We get field triggers. We're going to fetch immediately to get a field trigger. Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic Sanctuary puts Hour of Promise on top. Okay. Do we just have a draw spell here? Tap down the team. Drew the card. Play the field. Make a whole bunch of dudes. If they have 2 more fields, I just get both of them and just super wide on the board. But it's probably going to be field plus like a fetch for Mystic Sanctuary. Alright, Vesuva, they decide to go super wide. They're going to hit me for 10, put me to 4. We have 8 plus 5, 13 creatures to deal with. I hit a Kiora, which means I have nothing for my opponent. I can technically present lethal here with 6... 11, 12? No, I can't. Can't even present lethal here. Looks like I just hit for 7, or I can step back and take 16. Alright, we can't beat a field. Stompy can't go long distance with our Omnath friend, and they take us down. There's match 4 here. We're 1 and 3 overall. Let's see if we can revive ourselves. Get that final win, get a 2-3, and win, not going 1-4. See you in the next one. Match 5, attempting the green Simic Stompy list. Omnath is just too much value, maybe a hiccup or 2 against Prowess. I feel like we can do this, though. We've got the knowledge. We know what we need to do. Let's be aggressive. full aggressive. Before we even see any of the hands here, I'm going to look for something that gets a turn 2 drop, turn 2 3 drop, and perhaps a second 3 drop. That'll be the goal. Let's ignore Hydroid Crisis. We're only wanting to top deck that. If we see that, unless the rest of the hand is perfect, we'll mulligan. Match 5, Simic Stompy here in Modern. Alright, we find our final match here. Let's go. Let's get a W. Simic Stompy. Get to play first. Good sign. Opening hand. Well, it's not on turn 2. It's on turn 3. We have a Luris here. Let's keep. Little bit weaker than I wanted, but with the Luris and being able to play a Stubborn Denial here, I like the idea of stopping them from Thought-Seizing Inquisitioning us. And then we'll have a double Steel Leaf against perhaps a small aggro list. Arid Mesa as our opening. Blood Crypt. I'm ready. Thought Seize me. Do it. Do it. Oh, red mana. Soulscar Mage. Alright, looks like we're going to get a repeat on a little bit of the prowess type of list. This looks like this might be the red-black one with Scourge. The Soulscar Mage is a bit rough because anything that shoots these is going to shrink them. We'll see, we'll see. Opponent's going pretty hefty at their life total. Stubborn Denial here. I guess I can just hold Stubborn Denial, make them take whatever, and we'll go from there. A little bit of a bummer here. Seeing a Soulscar Mage can take care of our Steel Leaf champions. We'll see if they just want to take the Stubborn Denial instead of casting the Stubborn Denial, and then they pay, and then they just grab Kiora with some removal pieces. Takes the Greater Henge. I don't think I expected them to take that one. Of all the card options they had there. We have a Death Shadow here and a Soulscar Mage. Let's go ahead and Utopia Sprawl up here. Make green. Wonder if I should play Kiora or if I should play a Steel Leaf champion here. I think I can play Steel Leaf this turn and look to do Kiora next turn. Kiora, untap this, play Steel Leaf. Get to draw. We played Kiora out a little fast last time. We'll play it a little slower here. Opponent's at 12. We have a Dismember. Personally, I think I just take this. I'm just going to take the 1 damage here, because it's only at 12. They're only at 12 here. A 5/4 gets to get past the Soulscar Mage currently. And if they let me untap, they know that Stubborn Denial is coming for them. If I top deck a land here with a Kiora and the Steel Leaf, I can hold up a Stubborn Denial for this Steel Leaf. Won't be able to for this one. They decide to bolt themselves here, which is kind of interesting instead of just bolting me. This makes this a 4/4 though. We now are at a 2-turn clock here. This is very interesting. An extra Soulscar Mage. Alright, 1, 2, 3. Play Kiora. Untap. 1, 2, 3. Steel Leaf Champion. Draw a card. No land. If I attack here, I probably lose, so we'll just pass this one turn. I don't get to keep Stubborn Denial up here. I probably have to block the Death Shadow now. We'll see. The alternate to that last turn would be just to play either Steel Leaf or Yorvo. And then from there, getting to hold up a Stubborn Denial. My opponent attacks me for 4. Suppose I just block here and offer a trade. Might have a Dismember for this one. Apostle's Blessing here. Alright. Even if I had the Stubborn Denial, this would still be a 6/6. So I'm pretty happy with that line so far. Follow up here is a... We're at 7. Get another Steel Leaf here. Go ahead and play new Steel Leaf. Gets to draw a card. We get another Stubborn Denial. If I attacked for 5, I'd put them to 2. That would make this Death Shadow an 11/11. I think we can just hold up one more turn here. I'm going to hold a Stubborn Denial instead of playing a Yorvo here. I'm afraid of a Teamer Battle Rage. They do not attack. This might be a Scourge. Alright, we have an 8/8 Scourge and we have a 6/6 Death Shadow to beat. Let's go ahead and put this over here. We're going to make green. All of this for Yorvo. We draw a card. Untap. Arbor Elf. Yorvo grows. I can't really get through here, so I'm just going to have to hang tight. We're in a pretty decent spot here with the Stubborn Denials. My opponent tries to go for it. We'll allow the Thoughtseize to resolve since I have 2 Stubborn Denials here. This puts them to 5, making our Steel Leaves and our Yorvo lethal. I can't cycle Waterlogged Grove because I've put green on all of the forests, and this was so that I could cast Yorvo and Steel Leaf Champions. My opponent decides I can attack with a 2/3. I'm tempted to block here. I really am. I can Stubborn Deny something here. I think the block is completely valid. They're going to try to Fatal Push something. I'm pretty confident I can use the Stubborn Denial here. And now that I'm very likely threatening a lot here, we can be pretty aggressive. Let's go ahead and make blue. I'm going to use one of the green here to use Waterlogged Grove. Cycling. We hit a Thragtusk. We'll untap. Get to play Thragtusk. We're going to hold 1 blue open. Thragtusk lets us redraw. We gain some life. Yorvo gets Mega. Alright. Waterlogged Grove. We've already done that for the turn. Let's do that again. Cycling off of the green mana here. Alright. Gonna hold this Kiora for the future. We have a 4/4, an 8/8, and a 1/2. This didn't shrink enough, but from where we're at, I believe, if I attack here, this blocks the 6/6. This blocks, and then this blocks. This dies. This dies. Sorry. This blocks here. This blocks here. They trade. This blocks here. So we have an 8/8. Because any of these getting through is lethal. They can't do this. They have to chump here. So it's here, here. They lose Scourge. Because I'm at 16, and that's not changing. We have an 8/8 Death Shadow. An 8/8 Death Shadow, and they have... They kill both Steel Leaves here. I then have a Thragtusk and an Arbor Elf. Alright, I like the attack here. Force this. Soulscar Mage can't shrink anything. I've got 2 defensive creatures here. Temur Battle Rage is frightening. But we can definitely block. And I don't see them attacking here. Oh. Block here. Block here. What can we do here? Temur Battle Rage makes this 16 coming through. I need a block with the Arbor Elf as well. Mutagenic. Oh gosh, Mutagenic plus Temur Battle Rage. Oh, that'll do it. Yep. We were right to worry. We were right to worry. We went in for it. We thought we were pressuring them since they didn't seem to be playing Temur Battle Rage the previous turn. Looks like they drew a Mutagenic Growth. We were drawing land, then Yorvo. That's probably plenty of time for them to find a removal. Ugh. Rough. Rough. Alright, we have Aether Gust for one half of their deck, or we have Veil of Summer for the other half. Fatal Push looks like one of the easier ways that they're going to be able to kill Yorvos and Steel Leafs. This protects us from Thoughtseize and Inquisition. This could tempo them out, and it also stops the Temur Battle Rage. I sort of like stopping Temur Battle Rage a bit more. Let's take the Greater Henges out again. Stubborn Denial is pretty good. Let's take out a few Krasis as well. You know what? Let's do one Krasis. Let's do one... Let's do one Stubborn Denial. Let's bring in the other 2 Veils here for the Stubborn Denials. Maybe for the Mana Leaks. You know what? For the 2 Stubborn Denials. We're pretty confident we would be able to Mana Leak or Veil here, and the Aether Gust is here to tempo out my opponent and to stop something like a Temur Battle Rage there at the end. If we were patient that last game, I still don't think we would have won. We were top decking 2 to 3 lands there. So we gotta play from behind here. We had a pretty good start there. Thragtusk was nice because it shrank the Scourge. It's a reason maybe to have an extra Krasis in. I think we're good. I think we're good. Let's go to the game. Alright, I would like to play first. Definitely want to lead here. An awkward hand. It's awkward because the Utopia Sprawl has to enchant a forest, and I don't have a forest. The rest of the hand is great, except that lack of a forest here. Let's mulligan. I think this hand causes dangers. Okay, this is doable. Let's go ahead and keep this. Let's get rid of it. Steel Leaf Champion? Let's get rid of Steel Leaf because Ronos is kind of an interesting one here. Ronos allows us to Ronos allows us to attack with a indestructible creature. Marsh Flats for our opponent. We'll see if they lead with a Soulscar Mage, or if they decide Thought Seizing's better. It's a Swift Spear here. Alright, something I can tempo out here with our Aether Gust. I wonder how often we're supposed to get this turn 3s in on turn 2. Obviously, that's what we're trying to do with all the Utopia Sprawls and the Arbor Elves. I'm just curious how often it should happen. Alright. Breeding Pool, Forest, Aether Gust up. Breeding Pool, or Blood Crypt, shocks in from our opponent. Making black mana. It's a Thoughtseize. We'll use the Aether Gust here. The Thoughtseize can only hit one thing. If they have another threat, they do, but this doesn't let the Swift Spear get too large here. Not letting it get too large is nice because it's going to keep our life total relatively high here, especially with the Waterlogged Groves as some of our threats here. My opponent double Thoughtseizes us, so they get past the 2 threats anyway. We'll put a Waterlogged Grove in to cantrip at the end step. They top deck a Swift Spear here and can attack me for 1. Couple Thoughtseizes, ripping the hand apart. We decide Scourge is the better thing. Scourge is a 2/2. Alright, let's go ahead and sack this. The Veil. Plus an Aether Gust. Breeding Pool tapped. We'll pass the turn. You're gonna attack me for 2. This makes Scourge a 4/4 now. Okay. We have a Death Shadow. No follow-up. We'll go ahead and cast Veil here to cantrip. Find ourselves a Thragtusk. Oops. Let's go ahead and Utopia Sprawl here. Naming green. It would be really nice to be able to get the Thragtusk down now because it would kill the Scourge. But no such luck here. My opponent's going to attack me for 4, probably 5 here, and the Swift Spear. Fetch Shock. I'm in a lot of trouble. This is 9 damage. Aether Gust doesn't hit any of this. I have an empty board. Soulscar Mage. Oops. Actually, I have to do it like this. We'll tempo the Soulscar Mage out. We know they have a Swift Spear somewhere. Land drop. At least I don't have to pay mana, or pay life totals with the Waterlogged Grove. Thragtusk in. This shrinks the Scourge to a 6/6. Sorry, an 8/8. 12. This is 12, yeah. Plus 5. It's because it was actually 12 due to their life total. We're going to Dismember. Put some to 4. They have an 8/8 and a 9/9. And they just Fatal Push. So we tempo out the Swift Spear, which is in hand, but we do get tempoed out with Fatal Pushes, Dismembers, and Thoughtseizes. We never get our creatures down. And there you have it. We're going to get hit for, looks like, about 20 damage on turn 6. Simic Stompy getting ripped apart there by the red-black Scourge Prowess list in Modern. We go 1-4 overall. And I've decided I really don't want to play Stompy anymore. I'll see you in the conclusion. Simic Stompy here in Modern. So we've tried to cheat our way with just a straight green Elves Stompy. We decided not to do the green-black. We've also attempted to do a green Stompy here with a little bit of a Simic splash, just so we have some interaction, and that interaction was very important in the matches that we did have that. All being said, though, it appears that, quite frankly, Stompy might not be very good right now. Stompy might not be very good. Why is this? We have Euro-based strategies which are trying to churn out a ton of value, and by doing that, they're also gaining a bunch of life. So Euro Omnath gains a whole bunch of life, making it very difficult. Steel Leaf Champion and Yorvo would be very good if the predominant red decks were not playing Soulscar Mage. So these are X4 creatures, and sometimes they grow. The problem with Soulscar Mage is they can shrink these creatures. If you shrink it by 2 or even 3, your whole plan of getting a 3-drop in very quickly and then trying to just attack really isn't going to do a whole lot for you. Fatal Push is a thing in the meta, and so is Path to Exile, both of which can be stopped by a Stubborn Denial. There's probably times where you don't want to run as quickly out with Stompy, but that's sort of defeating the purpose of Stompy. Hydrate Krasis was super sweet. I think we've misplayed this card drastically during the entire league. Thragtusk, I think, is a relatively good card as well. I don't see where the Greater Henge is coming in. Maybe someone else in the conversation, the comments below, can let us know. Inscriptions of Abundance. If there is a card to talk about, it's certainly this card. This one's very interesting. It's a fight card, it gains you life, and it puts counters on creatures. It's probably everything that Stompy wants to be doing, and it's nice to have when you're at about that 5 mana, which you can do with Arbor Elves, Utopia Sprawls, and Noble Hierarchs. Sideboard is very, very slim in terms of what it's trying to attack. We did hit decks that it was appropriate against, but it didn't seem to help us too much. In fact, one of the times when we ran it straight back, we ended up winning. Simic Stompy, though, if you like the Stompy variations, definitely something to consider. If you're a Stompy, player, you probably play a little bit stronger and better than we did today, and you'll probably get a few more wins. Is it a top tier list? Probably not. Thank you all for watching. I do appreciate all of the shares, likes, and comments that you do, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Fluffy Wolf 2. We'll see you in our next matches. Take care. Have a good one.